Have you, as an English teacher, ever wondered how you can help your children in class ways to identify traditional tales? Not to worry, in this video, I'm going to walk you through steps that you need to take in order to help your children to identify traditional tales. Hello, my viewers, and you're welcome to my channel. First, you need to let them know what is traditional tales. Traditional tales are stories that have been passed down through generation, either orally or in written form. We have some examples of traditional tales. Some of them are Little Red Riding Hood, Jack and the Beanstalk, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, The Wise Maiden, Cinderella, to mention a few. Now, these traditional tales we're talking about, how do you identify them in any exercise given you? Traditional tales usually start with once upon a time, in a land far away, or in a faraway land, or on one sunny day, and many like that. That's how traditional tales usually start.
Once upon a time, there was a poor widow who lived with her son.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived in a village near a big forest.
Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom,
The Wise Maiden. Once upon a time.
Traditional tales usually have common themes. Examples like love or magic, good versus bad, the talking animal, and some others. I'm going to relate to some of the traditional tales in connection with this theme. If you remember Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the wicked queen has a magic mirror who usually tells her the things that will happen or whatever she wants to know. All right, and there was a particular time that she even used her magic power to turn herself to a wicked woman who actually went to Snow White, where she was staying with the seven dwarf, I mean the house of the seven dwarf, and gave Snow White a poison apple and killed her because she just wanted to be the fairest of all in that land. So she actually used magic to perform ways. Then, talking about love, virtually all the traditional tales has love as their theme. For example, in that same Snow White and the Seven Dwarf that I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, you will see where the prince, after seeing Snow White's corpse, he remembered that he had seen this girl in a dream. And so he kissed her on her cheek, and Snow White woke up. And after telling him everything that happened, they all went to the king's palace, freed the king, Snow White's father, and the wicked queen ran out of the palace and never appeared again. And afterwards, they both lived happily ever after. Similarly, sorry about something entered my mouth. Similarly, in The Wise Maiden, you will see where the king got married to Layla, the Wise Maiden, after being amazed with her wisdom and a level of intelligence. There was a particular time that the Wise Maiden kidnapped the king, and when the king knew, he got so furious. In fact, he even told the Wise Maiden that she is going to be punished for kidnapping the royal king. And after the king realized his mistake, he took Layla, the queen, back to the palace, and they both lived happily ever after. It also happens in some other traditional tales. Then when we're talking about talking animal, you could remember in Little Red Riding Hood, where that Little Red Riding Hood girl, on her way to her mother's cottage, she met a big bad wolf who eventually swallowed her and her grandmother in one gulp. But before the wolf could do that, the wolf has been talking to the Little Red Riding Hood, which is against her mother's instruction that she should not talk to any strangers along the way. Then, when we are talking about good versus bad, it reflected in some of these traditional tales we're talking about, where in Little Red Riding Hood, the woodsman who happened to hear Little Red Riding Hood's scream came and rescued Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother from that big bad wolf and chased the wolf out of the village and out of the forest. Similarly, when the prince knew what the wicked queen did to Snow White, he ensured that the wicked queen is out of the palace and they all live happily ever after. So it shows that traditional tales has good versus bad as their theme, right? Lastly, it usually ends with "and they live happily ever after," and this has shown in some of the explanations which have been given so far. So these are ways that your children will be able to identify traditional tales in any exercise given them as it relates to creative writing or composition, whatever terminologies you may want to give it. So, like I said, it usually starts with once upon a time. It has some common themes: love, magic, good versus bad, talking animal, like that. And do not forget, traditional tales also teaches moral lesson, especially at the end of the story. Then it usually ends with "and they live happily ever after." I hope this video has helped you to know how to assist your children to identify traditional tales. For more on educational tips, please follow this channel and do well to subscribe to this channel. If you find this video helpful and valuable, subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell, and please do not forget to like this video and share it to others whom you feel they will find it helpful. Thank you for watching this video up to this minute. I'll see you in the next video.